Does anybody have any questions for David or Norman right off the bat? Yes.
Dr. Rosenthal mentioned 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at night. David Lynch, in a French magazine, I read that you meditate 40 minutes. Is that 40 minutes in the morning and 40 minutes at night, or?
Repeat the question.
The lady would like to know, is it 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the evening? And the answer is yes. When you start, you can get going with 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening. Later on, perhaps you can meditate, longer. And sometimes I do this, but I have been meditating for almost 38 years, every day, twice a day. And just happened that I've never missed a meditation.
Other questions? Yeah. Follow up.
The same lady's got another question.
What about the time? What about the time to meditate? I've heard that sunrise is like.
There is an ideal time, supposedly, and that's when the night is turning to day and the day is turning to night. But you can really, when you get up in the morning, no matter what time it is, you get up, you meditate, and go on about your day, your business. Then in the evening, or whenever you're before dinner, you meditate another 20 minutes, then you go about your evening. It goes like that. You bet.
Yeah, question in the back.
When you say you never missed a meditation, is it thought to be more effective if you never miss one, or if you do miss them from time to time, is that a big deal? Or?
If you miss them from time to time, that's your choice, and that's fine. I always say it's like you have an opportunity to get into the treasury twice a day and bring out that gold. And if you choose not to take the key that's been given to you and go to the treasury, open the door and get the gold, that's fine too, I guess. Where this thing takes you, because now before we came on to the talk here, and in Los Angeles just the other day, there is so many different types of meditation. And everybody says, "Oh, David, I love my meditation too." And I ask them what type it is, and I'm amazed at how many different types there are. And as Norman was saying, Transcendental Meditation, Maharishi wanted this technique researched from the get-go, attacked from every single angle. There's been so much research on it. And all of it shows its benefits, a myriad of benefits, no bad side effects, and it works if you're a thinking human being. If you can think and you're a human being, it will work. And if the ceiling you say is the surface of life, there's many, many, many layers, through the field of relativity. And then there's what they call the absolute or the unified field, which this floor would represent. And this is called the transcendent, or oneness, or unity, or the absolute, or totality, or reality, creative intelligence, so many names for this field. That's the field that does everything for the human being. That field, it's unbounded, it's eternal, always been there, always will be. They've always been talking about this field. You want to experience that. It so happens that Transcendental Meditation is a technique that's easy, effortless, and supremely profound, and it will take any one of us from the surface all the way through, and you'll transcend and experience transcendence. And then you will get the benefits. This field is all positive. No negativity there, just as there's no darkness in the brightest light. You experience this, you infuse some of that. Every time you experience it, you begin to grow in that. Pure consciousness, bliss, intelligence, creativity. I really was interested in the creativity side of this, but also energy is there, power, peace, this great, 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 giant inner contentment comes. It's so beautiful. And the side effect is stress, anxiety, tension, sorrow, depression, hate, anger, and fear all start to gently, without trying, lift away. This is so beautiful for a human being. We're not made to suffer. Happiness, bliss is our nature. We wouldn't know it really by looking around the world, but it's true. And it's all there in that field. And this will get you there. It's really, really, really beautiful. And now with brain research, they found they're starting to test all different types of meditation. So honestly, if they took away my Transcendental Meditation, I wouldn't know what one. I've never heard of one that would give me what Transcendental Meditation gives me. I would be confounded and mightily depressed. And I've heard stories, so many people, and I would recommend go out and try every single one and stick with them for a while if you want. Please. But then give this a try and see the difference. Like I say, beautiful.
I have, before you do that, I have a question someone submitted for Dr. Rosenthal. David mentioned about the brain. If you would talk about some of the brain research findings?
Yes, the brain research has been mostly in the EEG, that's the electroencephalograph, where they have found a couple of really interesting things. The alpha waves, which is a certain wavelength frequency, which is shown actually, you'll see it in the book, the kind of frequency that the alpha waves are. There are great waves of these particular wavelengths that go over the frontal parts of the brain just behind the forehead. And they're associated with calm, reflective, internal, peaceful states of mind, and this frontal area is associated with executive functions. What we mean by that is the capacity to make judgments, to make decisions, to run our whole lives, in other words, and that this is being bathed in these waves upon waves of alpha rhythms. The other thing that's emerged is something called coherence. What that means is that different parts of the brain are operating at the same wavelength frequency in the alpha region. In other words, imagine the brain is made of many regions that have to work in a coordinated, collaborative way to get acts and thoughts and conclusions and decisions, and whatever it is that the brain does, it has to do in a coordinated way. And what they find is these alpha waves are correlated in different parts of the brain, occurring in relation to one another to a greater extent. And this kind of coherence or correlation is associated with higher levels of competency, higher levels of efficiency in studies done, for example, in businessmen or in athletes. So these are some of the things that occur in the brain during TM that may account for some of its benefits that David has been mentioning.
Christina?
No, he's okay.
Okay, go ahead.
How has meditation helped your creative process compared to other activities such as, taking a slow walk or having interesting conversation with people or having really rich life experiences?
There's this field within is a field of pure creativity. Besides intelligence and energy and love and happiness, it's pure creativity. And you experience this field, and right away I start feeling this heavy weight of negativity lifting, which is a great feeling of freedom. We don't realize how heavy the stress is. And when it lifts, it gives you a great euphoric kind of freedom. Now, on top of that, a happiness comes up inside. And I experience this flow of, more of a flow of ideas. Easier to catch ideas. It feeds the work. It's very, very beautiful. I say that negativity is the enemy to creativity. If we're really stressed or really angry or really fearful or really sick, we don't feel creative, we don't feel good, we don't feel like working, And opposed to that is that when you start getting this weightlifting and all this kind of this thing of intuition, flow of ideas, energy, happiness, the world looking better, a bigger picture forming, money in the bank for the work. At the same time, the world is, if you're more awake and you're going down the street, like you say, just being more aware. This is a field of infinite awareness. Consciousness is another name is awareness or wakefulness. Then you're going to see more things out there, and you're going to be more aware of these things, and they could spark an idea.